may I share two answers on this one. One is the different time cycles of technical and organizational innovation. Normally we see that and the different layers of information technology is moving faster than organizational innovation because it's just more effort to change cultures, processes or governance models within organization in this context. And so what we do think is that from the perspective of cloud computing, innovation will happen. And one of the numbers I think all of us shared, that 70% currently of the IT budget is being used and utilized for maintaining existing system. I do think in a nutshell that cloud computing will be an ignition for re-architecting towards an agile infrastructure, because even if you don't end up leveraging the public cloud because you build your private cloud or you take as many benefits as possible in your existing architecture, it's an infrastructure game in this context. But on the long term, 5 to 10 years out, I do think that many organizations will see what you just explained, that people will move gradually from their maintaining existing system jobs into more value generating, service provisioning kind of activities in this context. So I do see both developments at the same time starting, but with different timelines associated.
I would add just one other dimension that we find that affects people organizationally. A lot of organizations, and I think as you were describing with BPOS, go to the cloud to support collaboration. I mentioned that in my talk. In doing so, they oftentimes open up access for and the ability to change applications, content, etc., to the business people themselves. And so one of the organizational implications then is you have to incorporate a wider audience, business people, into your change management, into your thinking about change management, you're thinking about budgeting. I mean, in the SharePoint context, there were all these stories about, the guy who decided on Thursday afternoon that all of his department's archives had to go into SharePoint and didn't tell anybody and soaked up all the storage and the lights dimmed in the building and everything else. So there's a coordination between IT and the business that because things are moving so quickly that you have to think very carefully about when you undertake that. I don't know if you've encountered that.
I want to pick up on one of your points from your slides, which talked about the speed for the business tying in with what's changing. In the old days of a corporate intranet, if you wanted to publish an article, you would write it in Word and pass it on to somebody who would mark it up, and then it would be uploaded on a Thursday. And when we went live, our head of applications was going, I'm not part of the sign-off process anymore, and couldn't grasp the fact that any user in the world can write a blog, publish a wiki, contribute, collaborate, set up a forum, and he wasn't part of the change control process to do that. And this guy still works for me. He's the biggest advocate of cloud you will find now, but in the early days he just couldn't comprehend how does that get live without coming through my people, because we used to employ one person to do that. And it's like now where we upload videos, they were going, right, so how many videos will there be? And comms come up with a number and they're sizing it, and you go, no, you just save it to that location now, and the workflow takes care of the rest. And in fact, you might not even know that this is happening because any user in the world can publish these videos. So that mindset of we've got to have control, if we're accountable for it, we've got to know what's going on, that is completely gone.